Welcome back. The Nigerian Customs Service has assured the manufacturing sector of its commitment to work with the Ministry of Finance and its health counterpart in working out the guidelines for the implementation of the new executive order that introduced zero tariffs, excise duties, and value-added tax on imported pharmaceutical inputs. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, announced this in Lagos while speaking at the 53rd General Meeting of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, APAPA branch, on the theme, Trade Facilitation and Revenue Generation, Option for an Import-Dependent Economy. Adeniyi noted that the guideline would aid the work of the customs and also help the Nigerian manufacturers against unscrupulous people who may want to hide under the guise following the rule on importation. The President of MAN, Otunba Francis Meshioye, called on the federal government to open a single window interest rate for the manufacturers in order to help the players play its role adequately in the growth of the nation's gross domestic products. Other speakers, including the Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadir, and the Chairman, APAPA branch, Raphael Danilola, urged the government to address the issue of multiple taxation and Forex instability.
I had to, assume the bigger stake in working with Ministry of Finance to ensure that we get those guidelines out yesterday. So we will do the same thing for healthcare, because I know that this is very, very strategic, so that we will be able to work out the guideline for implementation. Let me tell you how important these guidelines are. The guidelines would tell us, it will spell out the eligibility criteria. If we are not careful, some criminal elements will hide behind this. They will go and import, and the Nigerian end users will not benefit anything from the intended objectives. So this is why it is always important that we work with the guidelines which will have been carefully worked out to ensure that the objectives are not circumvented. So please, it is not about how long. It takes just one click to upload the guidelines, but let's get those guidelines first. And I will also challenge you, I challenge those of you practitioners in the healthcare sector to put some kind of pressure on the ministries, finance and Ministry of Health, so that we will jointly, so that you can jointly develop these guidelines and ensure that the objectives are met.
25 billion loan to manufacturers at a single-digit interest rate to aid the recovery of the manufacturing sector, as access to finance at competitive rates has long been a challenge for the sector. Although these applications have been processed, and I'm sure very soon we should be able to reap the fruit of this effort. Approval of import duty waiver for importation of all CNG auto vehicles as well as kits, including equipment used to manufacture CNG vehicles in Nigeria. This to the advantage of our auto subsector. And the service, on our own part, or your part, being the speaker here now, our esteemed members of MAN, are urged to fulfill your membership obligations by prompt payment of your annual subscription and complete return of questionnaires and other data which will be required of you to provide from time to time. Because it is with this data we collect facts and make arguable presentation to the government that could be considered and introduce a policy that will impact positively on your business operation.
We are one of the major stakeholders of customs. We rely on them for importation of our raw materials that are not locally available. We also rely on them to facilitate export, which is the much desired objective of government. So we've been able to reach some sense of collaboration here. The CG, for instance, has been able to tell us that those customs officers who are responsible for unnecessary delays, there will be consequences for those actions, which I think is the missing link why we continuously have delays in the importation of our raw materials, spare parts and machines. We've also had a sense around how customs will not only concern itself with collecting revenues, but they are going to support manufacturers such that we are able to have a fast and effective clearance of our goods. We are going to be able to reach some traction on how our import duties will be calculated. The volatility of the exchange rate had ensured that we are not able to plan. And so he has given us the assurance that all the relevant structures in government are working towards it, towards having a single window, even for determining other forms of collaboration. So I think those are issues that will continue to follow up at the AGM.
Adequate collaborations, we could be able to achieve the best for the country. However, the manufacturer sector still have a lot of challenges in the areas of Forex instability. The Forex is instability, our infrastructure deficit in the states, they are all challenges. One of them again is this issue of Adewale. A container load from Lagos going to Amuwo-Odofin, you pay the same value for a container load from APAPA to Ibadan. At every point, the Agbero stopped and demanded for money. We appeal to government to help us look into this because it's a great embarrassment. It's added more cost to our production activities.